She thought betrayal was private, but the world believed she had given her blessing. Eziamaraa sat on the edge of her bed, staring blankly at her phone. 2 weeks had passed since Christopher and Saudi had disappeared from her life, yet the world outside her walls had moved in a cruelly different rhythm. Every notification felt like a hammer against her chest. Every ping of her phone was a reminder that reality was no longer hers to control. She hesitated before unlocking Instagram, but curiosity, and something darker, a desperate need to see the truth, overpowered her fear. And then she saw them. The honeymoon photos. Christopher's arm draped casually around Saudi, her laughter radiant and unrestrained. They lounged on pristine beaches, dined in candlelit restaurants, and posed in exotic gardens. Every post carried the subtle arrogance of triumph, the quiet satisfaction of a plan executed to perfection. Comments flooded beneath the pictures.
Congratulations to the happy couple.
Finally, the wedding we've all been waiting for.
Beautiful bride, beautiful groom, God bless your union.
Eziamaraa's hands trembled as she scrolled through each image. Her chest tightened painfully. Her stomach churned. Even breathing felt difficult. Then came the messages from friends and acquaintances.
Wow, Eziamaraa, you handled everything so gracefully at the wedding. You're such a strong woman. We're proud of how supportive you were. Congratulations, sis. Love wins.
Each message sliced through her like glass. They all thought she agreed. They all believed she had willingly stood by while her husband married another woman. They thought she had smiled through her own humiliation. That she had approved the betrayal. Her vision blurred with tears. How could they think that? How could anyone believe she consented to this? With shaking fingers, she dialed her closest friend. The moment the call connected, her voice cracked. Did everyone think I agreed? Silence. A long, uncomfortable silence. Then her friend finally spoke, hesitant and uncertain.
Well, Eziamaraa, we thought you knew. You were there at the wedding. You traveled with him. You looked calm. We just assumed.
Assumed. That tiny word carried the weight of 1,000 betrayals. Her knees gave way beneath her. She collapsed onto the floor. Jewel and Star rushed to her side immediately, their tiny hands clutching her arms, their innocent eyes filled with fear.
Mama, are you okay?
Eziamaraa forced a trembling smile through tears that refused to stop falling.
I'm fine, my babies. Mama is fine.
Inside her, everything was breaking apart. Every belief she had ever held about love, loyalty, family, and trust crumbled like dry sand slipping through trembling fingers. The worst part came later that evening. Her in-laws finally called. For weeks, they had ignored her messages and avoided her calls, hiding behind silence while she drowned in confusion. But now, guilt had finally cornered them.
Eziamaraa.
Her father-in-law's voice trembled heavily over the phone.
We should have told you the truth.
Her heartbeat slowed. Cold dread spread through her body.
Told me what?
A painful pause followed.
We knew about Christopher and Saudi.
The room spun. Her lips parted, but no sound came out.
We knew from the beginning.
He confessed weakly.
We didn't know how to tell you. We thought staying away was easier. We hoped maybe Christopher would come back to his senses.
Eziamaraa covered her mouth as tears burst free again.
You knew?
She whispered.
Yes.
He admitted, his own voice breaking now.
You are a good woman, Eziamaraa. We never wanted to hurt you.
But the damage was already done. She sank onto the sofa, trembling violently as Jewel and Star curled against her sides. First her husband betrayed her. Then the family she trusted betrayed her too. The people who should have protected her had chosen silence instead. And suddenly, all the pain she had been suppressing came crashing down at once. The honeymoon photos. The congratulatory messages. The assumptions. The lies. The silence. The confessions. It all collided into one unbearable wave of emotional devastation. Eziamaraa wept openly now, deep, broken sobs that shook her entire body. She cried for the marriage she thought was real. She cried for the husband who abandoned her without remorse. She cried for her children, innocent victims trapped inside a war they never created. And most painfully, she cried because the entire world now believed she had participated willingly in her own destruction. Everyone thought I agreed. Everyone thought I consented. Everyone believed I betrayed myself. That realization shattered something inside her completely. The betrayal was no longer private. It had become public. It had spread across social media, across family circles, across whispered conversations and congratulatory comments. Her humiliation had gone viral. For the first time in 8 years, Eziamaraa felt utterly powerless. And deep in her heart, she knew one terrifying truth. Nothing would ever be the same again.
Morning light on the kitchen floor. I built this house from love and more. Framed your fears, hung up your past. Thought we were built to really last. I wore devotion like a crown. Held you up, I held you down. Skipped my needs to fit your plans. Signed my soul